like it?
Doesn't matter, we must know it.
All right. The answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything is... 42.
Welcome to Boys, episode 42. As always, I'm Robbie with the Y.
Josh, obviously.
And we have a very special show tonight. It is our first show with more than 2 guests, and we've got some
full house. Awesome
young men to talk to today. And before we get to that, though, we got to take care of just a little bit of business. First and foremost, thank you so much for listening. And if you listen, you like it, subscribe on iTunes or Google Play.
Rate it.
That's so important right now in this growing period that we're in. 42nd episode. Throw us some stars. Throw us a few kind words. Be honest. Like if you want to criticize us or if you want to, give us some.
Keep it to yourself.
No. Be honest and do your thing. But yeah, if you subscribe, review, share it with a friend. That's the most important thing. Like if you like this show, tell a friend about it. It really helps us grow. It helps us grow listeners and it helps us keep doing what we do. And it helps us keep the fire, so to speak.
Keep the fire going.
And then also, like I said previously, we're on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play.
Anywhere you get podcasts.
Any podcatcher of your choice. We're also on SoundCloud at Boys Podcast. And big thanks to the Paramount building and Patrick at the Lost Ogle for the space. It's an awesome place to broadcast out of. And AnthemBrewing.com also. We're all enjoying Anthem beers tonight.
I am. I noticed when I cracked open this OK Pills that on the side, each Anthem beer tells you at what temperature to enjoy your beer.
And what temperature is that?
It says serve at 42 degrees. So
whoa, that's weird, man.
I feel like
there's a theme. And last but not least, our friend Matt at fatbison.com. Quality hand-carved signs for your dad. Hit him up. He makes great shit. And without further ado, Trash TV. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Since this is the biggest show we've had so far, why don't we go around the room and introduce ourselves? I'm Robbie with the Y.
I'm Ronnie, or you can call me Rage. That's my longtime nickname.
And what do you do? What's your role in the band, man?
I'm the MC.
All right.
I'm the main shit.
All right. And, okay, moving on.
Josh.
And what do you do?
I talk on this microphone here.
Okay. You always talk on that microphone.
I do this microphone right here that no one can see because this is an audio podcast.
I'm Tim, or Tomb, I guess is what I go by.
Tomb?
Tomb, yeah, T-O-M-B.
All right. And what do you do?
I'm the producer. I do a little bit of backup. I do a little bit of rapping.
Awesome.
He's really the main shit.
No.
And I am Robbie, also with the Y, which we've already freaked out a lot about here. And I'm the drummer, and I also provide the sex appeal with my lovely body.
Obviously.
Easily.
Well, guys, thank you so much for coming.
Yes,
and
thank you.
The reason I reached out to you guys is I graduated from UCO about 2 semesters ago, and you guys did an episode of Soundcheck.
Word.
I produced that episode. Yeah,
nice.
I don't think we met because I was in the control room.
Yeah.
But I really liked what you guys were doing. And,
Hell yeah.
And much later, I just happened to cross you guys. I think it was on Facebook, perhaps, or
Hell yeah. somebody
brought it up, and I was like, man, I'm going to ask these guys on the show because we like getting people we don't know. Like, we love having our friends on, and because we have a lot of friends doing cool things and whatnot. But it's like it's always fun to sit down with people you don't normally talk to. So
well,
for sure.
It's crazy because he hit us up on Twitter, and I think we had maybe started our Twitter like 3 days before that.
Really?
So when you guys hit us up, man, I've been obsessed with listening to podcasts lately, and I've wanted to do one forever. So when you guys hit us up, I was like, yes. I don't care what anybody else wants to do. We're going to do this. So
I'm really glad you guys decided to do it. It was really cool. I'm glad you guys are here tonight.
Hell yeah.
I want to talk about Trash TV and how you guys got started and what you guys are doing. But first, before we get into all that, we usually like to kind of start off with like stories of adolescence or how you guys got to where you are today. And let me ask, how old are you guys?
I'm the old man in the group. I just turned 28.
Oh, you're so old. How old are you?
I'm 25. I'm
nice.
a couple months.
Robbie?
23.
Dang, man.
I know,
okay.
man.
Oh, I feel like a fucking grandfather compared to you guys.
Man, when I'm hanging out with these guys, it's like, well, shit, man. Like, they can drink all night, and at like 10, it's like, fuck, it's my bedtime.
Dude, that's the way it goes, man. Like I will be 36 in 10 days,
nice,
dude.
man. Happy early birthday.
Thanks, man. And I'll tell you what, dude, as I get older, like that bell curve took a steep turn, way less beers and way more hangover as I get older, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I try to enjoy that while I can.
and as you should.
Dude,
As you should.
dude.
Well, and it was funny because I was talking to somebody in the work van earlier today because they were asking about some trash TV stuff, like the bit that we had for the tattoo shop, like came up and they're like, "Oh, I know this song. This is you." I was like, "Yeah, it's me and my buddy Ronnie." And they're like, "Well, how long have you known Ronnie?" And I was thinking about it. It's like you and I have known each other 8 years, like
Forever.
7 or 8 years at this point. But like at the same time, I was like 18 and I was hanging out with you when you were like 24. So like the paths crossing and the age thing was kind of weird. Well, how old were you?
Because I would have been only about 22.
Okay.
Still though, man.
There's still a gap there.
Me and this guy
Yeah.
have known each other a very, very long time, but I've only just been playing music the last couple of years.
Nice. Yeah, Josh and I go back. Josh is my oldest friend. We go
Hell
back
yeah.
to
Nice.
7th grade?
7th grade, yeah.
Yeah, and it was funny because we just have all these stories over the years, and we're like brothers at this point.
Right,
Like
right.
we're honest with each other. We say shitty things to each other. Like there's no like the honeymoon phase has been over for what, 15 years?
It's definitely like kind of like a married couple of like.
I mean, that's always
is.
how it
Like,
works, though.
We're not fucking.
More sex,
We're
though.
not fucking. Well, I'm saying we're not fucking as much anymore. But we know each other's mannerisms,
Yeah.
and like we know when someone's in a bad mood, but they're not saying that they're in a bad mood.
I
that
can tell
kind of
Josh
shit.
I can tell Josh if he's being like sensitive or in a bad mood by his like texting. You know what I'm saying? Like the same way I would tell from my wife. Like it's like, oh, he's being sensitive today. I can't make that joke today. But sometimes I'm like laying it on like super thick, you know.
Maybe just because I'm an asshole, but I make the joke anyway. 'Cause, I mean, I've got that too with a buddy that's back in Nebraska where I'm from, and it's the same thing. But even if we're in shitty moods, we still just go right for the jugular. 'Cause, I mean, it's like you said, the honeymoon phase is over.
Okay, I lied, Robbie. It's a Robbie thing. I do the same thing. All right, I do. I sometimes like.
Oh yeah, it's like
I'll
fuck
type
you.
some-
Take it.
No, because it always goes like this. Like Josh will be like, "Fuck off," and I'll be like, "Fuck off." You know, like what the? I thought we were friends.
Not today, man.
So you guys go far back. How long have you known the guys, Robbie?
Not very long, actually. I think I've probably
Even as
only known you
friends.
guys.
Even
Yeah,
as
I think
friends.
we've been friends for maybe like a year and a half.
Oh, that's exciting, man.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because as you get older, like you don't meet new friends as often.
No,
Like,
not at all.
I don't really have any friends that I haven't had for a long time.
Well, similarly, I think it's just like your exposure too. You know what I mean? Because like you have the people that you work with at your job, but say like when you're growing up in grade school and shit, it's like there's a shitload of people that you could potentially be friends with, all kinds of opportunities.
You're surrounded by people your age, 8 hours a day that are.
The same people.
Yeah.
Like Josh and I worked together at a guitar pedal company and
Where?
Keeley Electronics.
Okay.
And,
Word.
Yeah, and I work with a guy named Aaron Pierce. He's this phenomenal guitar player, and we make.
Well, I know him.
We make. You know Aaron?
Yeah, in passing, yeah.
Yeah, great dude. We work together in a room probably about the size of the studio, and it's like I see this dude 36 to 40 hours a week. Every week we work hand in hand making videos and audio and all kinds of shit. And I love him, and I couldn't ask for a better person to do that with.
Right.
But it's like I feel like we're married
Yeah.
because like we eat together, we watch YouTube videos. It's the same thing my wife and I do. You know, it's like we share everything.
Yeah.
It's a weird, wonderful situation.
Work friends.
Yeah, we're work buddies. He is my friend, but he's also
yeah.
23. So I'm like, dude, I could be like your stepdad.
Yeah. That's kind of how these guys.
Yeah,
We talked about that at lunch today, like
Crazy Uncle Ronnie.
Yeah.
like
it has a ring to it.
being friends with somebody who's like 22 or 23 or 21. And like, for some reason, I brought up, we're hanging out last weekend, and this girl was sitting next to me at the show, and she was a friend of a friend, and Flagpole Sitta by Harvey Danger came on the
fuck
jukebox,
yes.
Yeah,
and she
great
was
song.
singing
Fuck
along
yeah.
to it.
Not sick,
And-
I'm not well.
And kind of
love
a
Harvey Danger.
snarky way, I was like, how old were you when this song came out? She goes, I don't know. I'm like, well, the song came out in like 97. She's like, oh, I was like 3. I'm like, fuck you.
Oh,
I think
what?
3?
maybe
Yeah.
a little later than 98 or something like that, but yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that, and I was like,
Damn.
you know, it's like people
3.
talking about Nirvana, loving Nirvana, but they were born in 93 or 94.
Think about it. People born in the 2000s are getting their driver's licenses,
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
fair.
Holy
No, it's
shit,
true.
that is, dude. They were
they've
born
been
after
driving for a year.
Y2K.
right?
Yeah.
Dude. Okay, this has been a great episode.
Y2K babies.
No, yeah, it's so weird to think about, man.
What I like to think about is kids that are almost 10 have never lived their life without having a black president.
That's true.
Wow, yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's tight
That's
though.
awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. And
It's
now
so
we have an even
badass.
better one, right? Are we all on the same page here, guys?
Jesus
Come on.
Christ, come on.
This is actually an intervention for you guys. No, fuck that
I,
guy.
for one, love our glorious leader. Praise be unto his name.
I, for one, love this Anthem Brewing Company ride or die PA.
Yes, absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
fantastic. It's a great beer
It actually
and
is, though.
totally non-presidential.
This is actually a fantastic beer.
If you pour it out, it's actually the same color as his skin, which oddly enough.
You know,
No way.
we don't have
Puce.
to. We don't have to joke. I'm pretty sure no one that listens to your podcast voted for Trump.
No, or voted. No. So okay, let me ask you. Let me start off with you, Ronnie. So where are you from, man? Like, tell me about.
Man, all right. Well, you know, I grew up in I was born basically Edmonds. I grew up out in Arcadia. My family owns a bunch of land out there, so that's where I lived my whole life. But instead of going to Edmonds schools, I went to Oklahoma City my whole life. Only went to 2 schools. I went to Nichols Hills for elementary, and it's so crazy because, you know, I knew everybody that I went to school with, and when it came time to go to high school, I actually went to Classen, and that's 6th through 12th, and literally probably 60 to 70% of my Nichols Hills group went to Classen with me and went all the way through graduation. So probably half of my graduating class I'd known since I was, how old are you in first grade? 8?
Yeah, 7 or 8, right?
7 or 8. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like, seriously, like, literally half the people I graduated with I'd known since I was a baby, essentially.
Yeah.
And so, you know, a lot of those people either move or they stay here in the city like me. So, I mean, dude, I fucking know everybody. You can ask these guys.
That's
Like,
true.
I can't go. I can't even go to another state without running into someone. Like, dude, I've been in New York and I always run into multiple times. Always end up running into somebody like I know.
That's tight.
It's tight, but it's kind of weird too.
Well, it's
like,
a small world, dude.
Yeah,
I know
it is
that's
a
like a
small- no,
cheesy
you're right,
saying, but
you're
it's totally a small
No,
world.
it's a small world, and I have so many like weird small world stories. But I think it's cool, like knowing that many people, and especially when you do music, you already have a fan base of you as a person. As long as you're not a shitty person, like you know what,
Jury's
like,
still out on that, by the way.
Yeah. Fuck you.
I mean, man, like I pride myself on being. I say I'm a decent human,
Right.
And I do fucked up things, and I'm not perfect,
Right.
But I am generally nice to people. I'm
Right.
welcoming.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
non-threatening,
so
which is
easy.
important. You know.
Yes.
I was talking about that the other day. I had a moment. So we went out to California for the NAMM show.
Oh, yeah. How
big,
was that?
dude? It was
Always
mind-blowing.
wanted to go.
Incredible.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to NAMM.
We had a booth, so we had people coming by. I filmed the whole time and just got a bunch of footage and got to meet a bunch of people. I got to meet like one of my idols, which is the bass player from the Mars Volta. When he was down at the Juan, he was down at the Earthquaker
that's
booth
awesome.
doing like demos and shit.
Hell
but he
yeah.
came up to our booth and we gave him some pedals. I don't know if I should say that, but we gave him some shit and got to meet
Fuck it,
him.
I would too. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, why not? It was awesome.
Dude,
It was
knowing he's
awesome.
rocking a Keeley pedal, that's fucking badass.
Yeah, dude, he was stoked about a few of them, and got to meet him. I saw no fewer than 3 members of Korn. That was cool. Yeah.
There you go. Now
Yeah.
you really made it.
Just making sure everything sounds okay. I'm not rocking headphones tonight. This is the first episode I've not worn headphones. So does everything sound
Brave
all right,
New
guys?
World.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
that sounds
Yeah.
great.
Okay, cool.
I forgot.
Not hearing any clipping or anything. So
Awesome. But yeah, it was an amazing experience. But I had a moment. So we were at the hotel bar the first night we got in. And we got in late. We had to be at NAMM at 6:30 in the morning every morning. So it was
Wow.
early. I mean, yeah, we were working, you know.
Yeah.
So we're at the hotel bar and we're watching. It was such a weird thing. First of all, we were all incredibly high on legal marijuana. Like that was the first thing we did when we got there. And I've already
There you
told that
go.
story
What kind
on the
was it, though?
podcast. We actually I got a indica blend, but we all got pens. Because if we were going to be at the convention center all day, we didn't want to have to go
Smart
outside.
about it, yeah.
Yeah, so we were like discreet, like had it in my pocket the whole time. And dude, we were all just like the whole time we were there.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I'm sitting at the bar and, you know, I have partaken, as they say, and we're watching the Thunder play the Golden State Warriors in Anaheim, California in the bar. And it was just all surreal and weird. And, you know, we were having some beers and whatnot. And, my dad's calling me. Dad, I'm telling a story about weed. I'll call you back. So I'm sitting there at the bar minding my own business. And I get this like tap on my shoulder, and I look over my shoulder, and man, like, okay, I'm a happily married man, okay, but I'm going to tell this story as I should. The most beautiful blonde woman is standing next to me, and she has a shot in her hand, and she's like, I just wanted to buy this for you, sweetie. And I had a moment. I had the kid still got it moment. Like, I wasn't flirting. I didn't even know she existed.
So was she? If you were to guess. An age bracket. Was this a younger lady?
No.
Keeping it safe with the age range.
Are we talking like
cougar milfy?
Man, it's hard to explain because so when I was a kid, we said the word MILF. We've talked about this on the podcast before. That's a common thing, you know. Right? But as I get older, I'm 30, I'm pushing 40. I'm about to be 36 years old. I still say MILF, MILF, but I'm like, dude, she's younger than me. Right. Yeah. Okay. So she was a
she
MILF.
got kids.
Well, but yeah. If she's still a mother, I mean, because it's just mother.
But you can be a MILF without having kids.
Right.
It's a weird age kid continuum.
Yeah. Yeah, that's more like the mountain lion type.
The reason why I ask is because a younger woman wouldn't have the I guess, is fortitude the word? Wouldn't have the gumption, the balls to just go up and just give a guy a shot. I've never seen a girl buy a guy a drink.
She probably wouldn't call you sweetie either.
It's true.
See, sweetie's kind of a matronly
I'm guessing.
I feel like the assumption there is that she believes she's older than you.
Yes.
I would think.
I think
I don't look 36.
No, you look like a...
I mean, maybe I do right now.
25, 26.
Right.
I think she may have been in her late 30s, early 40s, but looks like she's in her 20s, 30s.
Right.
And thinking the same about you. So she buys you a drink. What was it?
Thinking I was going to reciprocate. I don't know.
Did you take it?
34.
Did you drink it?
I don't drink alcohol. So like right now, that's what. No, I mean like booze.
Was it brown
liquor,
or
not
clear?
beer?
Yeah, I got you.
Liquor.
Sure.
It was brown. I gave it to Robert. I don't know.
It was probably whiskey.
But I said, wow, thanks. And it's so funny. I don't get attention from women other than my wife, like very often because I'm not like a bro. Well, they see this. They see my lack of muscles or my like weird face or my weird hair, my weird mustache.
Yeah. And then you start talking and they're like, God, fuck this guy.
I don't get hit on very often. Yeah. So I didn't know. I thought my first thought was she's a waitress. Like either somebody put her up to buying this for me or
prostitute. My thought was going to prostitute.
There you go.
Well, anyways, moral of the story was is I had this like kid still got it moment.
Oh, for sure.
And man, I'll tell you what, like happily married man did not even entertain the idea, but man, like, you know, I kind of sat up straight in my chair.
That's a little pick me up.
Yeah, dude. Like I walked around like a rooster the rest of the night, dude. I was so happy. So that's all it takes, ladies. The 3 ladies that listen to this podcast.
Buy a guy a shot.
Be nice.
Be nice. Yeah, be nice.
I don't know. It was just. It was.
Did you take the shot though?
I didn't drink it. I gave it to my boss.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
Like I was like, thanks, and I cheersed, and then I set it down and went back to my job.
Did she have a shot too?
No, we didn't do a shot together. She just brought me a shot.
Weird.
Okay. The other thing is like, did they just bring her an extra shot and she just handed it to the first?
Or maybe
neck
she decided
beard,
she didn't want it. Yeah.
Maybe it was like one of those moments where it's like the ladies, because I was a sacker at a grocery store for a while when you're carrying stuff out or whatever, you know, like helping people out with their bags, and the one lady comes up to you and she was like, God told me that you needed this, and gives you kind of one of those like,
God told me I needed booze?
Well, maybe she was just looking at you and it was like, maybe he looks like he's having a bad day or some shit like that. It's like, you know what? I just feel like you need this shot right now or some shit.
And also I want to give you a
We could take the sexual element out of it. I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
Or maybe she looked at you and goes, I bet if I get him drunk, I could fuck him in the bathroom.
Ooh.
That's just where my
What
mind
am I, just
goes.
common bar trash? Like,
Yeah, Rob, you're a piece of meat. You're a piece of meat.
Maybe she saw those sweet ass Keeley pedals you guys were just giving out.
Maybe you should
my
have
bulging sacks of Keeley pedals.
Maybe you shouldn't have been
Making
dressed
her
so
sex bulge.
sexy. It's your fault.
It is the hoodie. The purple hoodie
Yeah,
just
there you go,
really
there
gets
you
the
go.
ladies.
Gets them wet.
Get them throbbing. Just throbbing.
Engorged.
Yeah.
So where are you from, Tim?
I was born in Tucson,
Anyway.
Arizona. I lived in Colorado for a short while. My dad started out in Christian radio. He and my mom both have broadcasting majors. So they did a lot of that. They were moving around. My dad got out of the radio when he felt it wasn't doing for him what he needed it to do to support a family. He had a lot of reasons. But he was kind of like, he picked up a job, and so it moved us to Colorado. I lived in Littleton, Colorado for a little while. And I think it was like my 6th grade year that I moved to Oklahoma. So like I guess it was maybe like a week or two before school started that I moved here for 6th grade. But I mean, that's like your cognitive adulthood, right? Like like those are between 6th grade and your graduation years, kind of the years where you
start forming your friendships that are going to last a while.
Yeah, I would say
Opinions
5th and back is not. It doesn't matter.
And I think that's
Like,
where
you're
your
just eating your
personality
boogers
starts
back
to
then.
develop
Yeah,
in there too.
Yeah, the early elementary is kind of like that foundational, like, here's how you is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is what you are. This is how you do. This is how you communicate to other people. And then beyond that, you get to kind of figure your own stuff out.
Yeah, basically teaching you how to socialize with other children.
Right.
Like, yeah, here's some simple math. Here's some dumb history. Well,
You
who
throw
gives
them in a
shit?
room with crayons and just be
Play
like, all
shoots
right.
and ladders on a rainy day. Go outside.
Yeah.
Punch the nerdy kid. Just do it because you're going to do it in high school. Might as
Yeah.
well start doing it now. And maybe that nerdy kid won't be such a nerdy kid later.
Right?
Yeah, maybe we'll stop being such a bitch.
Or maybe he'll start a fucking band in high school.
Right.
I'm not speaking from
Or
experience.
perhaps a rap group.
Or maybe a rap
Let's
group.
not be so genre specific here.
Well, I don't know. I don't really listen to hip hop.
Racist.
Fuck hip hop.
That's not true. I love hip hop.
I love
I was about to say.
The whitest thing. I love hip hop,
Yeah.
guys.
I love the rap music.
I love it.
What about you, Robbie?
I was born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska.
311.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah. Saw him live once. It was the first time I saw boobs at a show.
You know how many times
I
I've
was
seen
like,
311?
this is what I want to do with my life.
You know how many
Boobs.
times I've seen 311?
How many?
About 14 or 15
God,
times.
that's
boy.
And I
it's funny.
believe
I love them.
Yeah.
They are my favorite
Nice.
band.
Fun fact, everybody but Peanut went to the same high school that I did.
Robbie.
shit.
Robbie. Oh,
There you
man.
go.
I knew we had this bond from the moment I met you.
It's like Robbie
My senior year,
squared.
Chad Sexton performed with the jazz band and stuff. It was cool.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. What brought you to Oklahoma?
I went to ACM. I wanted to major in music because I found out when I was about 16 or 17 that you could major in music and not just be like a choir director or, I don't know, do symphony or something like that. Like I realized you could do more stuff, but I didn't want to do jazz because I've never been that great at playing jazz. It's never been something that interested me. And my mom happened to hear about ACM, I think on NPR, and then told me to look into it. And yeah, here I am.
That's awesome. So how did you meet these guys?
I started playing in a band with Tim.
Yeah,
called,
get that plug in. Get
called,
that plug. Oh,
Zoot.
wait. You guys have talked about this. You said this would be a good name for a band was Virtual Zoot Suit.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
And
that's
their
a good
band's name
callback.
is Zoot Suit.
Yeah, we're Zoot Suit.
Nice.
Okay.
Still
So it
going.
exists.
Working
Yeah,
on
buddy.
EP, going to be out in about a month.
Cool.
Ideally, if somebody who may be to my right actually mixes the.
Now, do you
I'll
play
get
drums
there.
in that band too?
Yes,
Okay,
I do.
Cool.
And so I started
fucking awesome,
playing
by
in
the
that
way.
band.
Fucking awesome.
Thank you. And I just started hanging out more with him, and then he introduced me to Ronnie. And Ronnie and I think became friends at brunch one day or something after a night of drinking. I think
we got a big ass group of friends that
Yeah.
all hang out
Nice.
all the time.
Yeah, and I just kind of assimilated into that group, and they won't let me leave. And I ended up asking Ronnie, saying, "I'd love to like play some drums, like maybe you can sample some of my stuff or whatever. I really love hip hop and want to play something." He was like, "Yeah, cool." And then he came back to me and was like, "We're thinking of adding a drummer to Trash TV," and I was like, "Cool, awesome." And then we kind of made it official a couple months ago.
Nice.
So you do like live drums at
Yeah,
the shows?
live
and stuff?
drums.
Yeah, because when we did the UCO thing, it was just you two.
Well,
I'm not playing live yet.
Okay.
We're still
Working on it.
figuring out exactly how to
Yeah.
integrate
Oh,
me
that'd be
into
awesome.
everything.
you are contractually part of the band. Then
I am
now.
contractually
Yeah,
part
you're
of it. I
literally-
signed my life
legally
away at this
speaking,
point.
yeah.
So how is it split? Not to get money, but you guys, it's one.
We don't
each
know.
get
We
it.
haven't
I'm
made
not
any
saying-
fucking money yet.
Dude, it's just like this podcast. We'll make
you
sure.
guys- you
We
guys
get free
aren't-
beer.
you
Thanks,
guys-
Anthem.
You guys
I'm
didn't
not
get
saying
signed?
they're fucking me, but they're fucking me.
They're fucking me.
So like getting Robbie into the mix is something that we've been working on doing because like I started out producing on like Fruity Loops as like a DAW. I messed around a little bit with like Reason. I got my Pro Tools certification at ACM. Ironically enough, I finished my associate's degree in production. I want to go back for the bachelor's eventually. Anyway, I'll get there. One of those kinds of a bachelor's at 36 is still a bachelor's, right?
Dude, I got mine at 35.
Hey, I'll get there eventually.
Look at me now.
But what we're doing, because like I've been using a Tractor Control, it's Native Instruments like thing. It's really basic, like just MIDI controller for like turntablism. Ronnie had come to me at one point and he's like, "Do you want to help like DJ some of this stuff?" Because there had come it was that between 18 and 23 like life changing moment where somebody pulls the rug out from under you, right? I'm pretty sure everybody had that moment where it's like, "Hey, stop being a punk bitch. You're not a kid anymore," kind of thing. But it was one of those moments where I had to decide that I wanted to do something for myself. So like I'd taken some money that I'd set aside. I purchased the turntables and the monitors and stuff, and I started producing on Fruity Loops when I had a PC. Did all that other stuff, but Ronnie was like, "Yeah, man, do you want to like DJ for me?" And I was like, "Yeah." But like, what we want to do is I use Ableton Live. I mean, plug in their software. It's super powerful. If there's anybody that's in a band anywhere, whether it be lights, music, samples, click track, whatever, like Ableton is the shit. If you're a musician, fuck around with it. It's super cool. You're welcome, Ableton, for the shameless plug.
Right.
But like, that's what I'm using to make the beats anymore. It's kind of my like production tool. It's a super awesome, like creative, like workspace for me. Like, the more time I spend to get around with it, I've spent a little bit of money over the past couple of years getting some stuff that makes it easier. But what we want to be able to do is like play all of the beats live, right? So this might sound like French to a lot of people, but like Ableton Live has like, it's basically like, you have a loop bank, right? You have all these different clips that you set to certain bar lengths. It's like, I want this to be 4 bars, 8 bars, whatever. And the whole thing is like locked to a metronome. So you hit play, the metronome starts. If you like punch one of the patterns, it'll drop it in, right? Like on the next downbeat of 1, if you're counting a measure for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3,
When
4.
it comes around.
When it comes around back to the beginning. It has some visual indication of that, and you can use a metronome in the same thing. But what it does is it lets you develop a bunch of these patterns on like a grid, and then you just pick and layer and start adding some stuff in.
That's tight.
But like, we've been composing, like using a sampler, like building some drum patterns and stuff like that. But the idea is like, I'm going to pass the tracks off to him. He's going to be able to like practice with them so that we can record them, get them all mixed down. But eventually when we play live, he's going to have clicks in his ears coming out of Ableton. So he's going to be able to jam with the metronome while we're layering in the patterns. We'll be able to play our beats, but we won't ever have to like play the beats the same way twice.
Right.
Which is super cool, because it gives more like, because I've been doing like performance. I've been in a handful of bands. Like, you know, I've been doing a lot of stuff, and it's like the performance element is really big, and like, I want to do something that's more intuitive to like.
We want to put on a fucking show.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah. And I think adding drums, man, like live drums in hip hop is the shit.
Yeah.
Like, I
totally agree.
love that.
And you know, something for me is like my whole thing when I started Trash TV was, you know, I've seen every rapper you can think of, you know, live, and it doesn't matter if it was Jay-Z or Eminem. I've been bored at every fucking show.
Really?
I love hip hop, and I've been
Because they just like, it's basically like they're doing karaoke over,
And I say that about myself. I say, people are like, "Oh man, you're so good," and it's like, what I'm doing is just glorified karaoke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I write my own lyrics, and I have a lot of pride over what I write. But for me, it's glorified karaoke. But when I add in that energy and that running around, a lot of people don't want to do that, especially rappers, because they have to control their
You're breathing,
You're breathing,
and your delivery.
And I don't give a fuck if I skip a couple words in, you know, exchange for this energy that I'm pumping into the crowd. Dude, I don't care if I skip a few words.
As a viewer of a show, like that's far more important. Same thing with bands. Like you go see a band, and if they play exactly what it sounds like on the CD, I'm like, why didn't I just stay the fuck home? Like, I don't care if you don't sing a word, or you sing the wrong verse, or you play the wrong chord. Like, if you're fucking rocking it. And I was telling Robbie earlier today, like that's one of the things I really liked about, I mean, I've seen you guys perform a couple of times, but that night at the Speakeasy you guys were doing it. What I liked about it was super high energy, and the way you have the stage set up is just fucking cool. Like it's a show. It's not just, hey man, what's up? I'm gonna play my beats on my iPad over a sound system. Hope you know my songs, because if not, you're gonna be bored as fuck. All right, here we go. Right. You know what I mean? Like you have to make it an experience, and that's what's fucking cool about you guys.
Yeah, we do that. I mean, 89th Street. If we play a show at 89th, I'm gonna be in the fucking rafters. Like I'm going to be hanging from the rafters. Even if Nick says you can't do this anymore, well, I guess we're not going to play there anymore. I mean, no, Nick's never said.
Hey, we know Nick.
No, I know.
We can work something out for you. An exception.
I'm pretty sure there would never be a show there again if he's like, no, climbing in the rafters.
Yeah. I don't know how many bands I've seen do that.
Exactly.
Like hang upside down and shit. Yeah.
I was in a pop punk band in like 2010, the Transit Message, and I saw Forever the Sickest Kids hang from those rafters. I saw Dance Gavin Dance hang from those rafters.
I saw Trail of Dead hang from those rafters. I've seen a lot of people
taking back
Trash
Sunday.
TV.
Like that's what you do there. You hang from the rafters. It should be called 89th Street Hang from the Rafters.
They had
put that on a t-shirt.
They had that baby doll that was hanging from the rafters over the men's toilet for a little while. Did you ever notice that?
No.
Like before they back when it was conservatory. They had at one point in time I
tried to avoid that bathroom if at all possible.
I just hang out there with my mouth open like for hours. I'd actually eat there. I'd bring my dinner there and eat it. But it is nicer now, Nick.
It is.
Thank you
nicer
so much,
now.
man.
It is nicer
a few
now.
years ago, not so nice.
Nice.
I don't know, man. The baby doll was kind of a token thing. You just like
Yeah.
you're taking a piss, you look up, it's like
Then you get a boner.
Yeah, then you get a boner. You can't pee anymore. It's weird.
So speaking
It's a
of,
whole
you
thing.
said something about CDs, and I thought to myself,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, CDs? Like, who does that? Who buys CDs anymore?
I don't.
I don't either. But my point is, so the other night I was up late just hanging out,
Yeah.
looking on eBay.
Sure.
And dude, I went down this like black hole, this nostalgia black hole. And dude, I brought this.
Oh my god.
Did you get it?
No, hold on.
He's reaching into his bag.
It's a deep bag. So I bought the exact
Oh,
Walkman
damn.
I had.
Fuck yeah.
Shit.
Hold on.
For reference, people, this is not a CD Walkman.
This is a tape Walkman.
original Walkman.
Yeah. Like it's a Sony Walkman with
That's
mega
fantastic.
bass.
Just feeling the weight of this
Open it,
takes
dude.
back so
Open
many.
it. Feel it.
Oh my god.
The memories.
Oh,
Did you?
tape.
Just, oh
It
man.
came with a tape
Did you
inside.
hear
Pull the
that,
tape
though?
out.
What's the tape?
Pull the tape.
That sound is classic as fuck.
Dude, this is a handmade Memorex DBS 60-minute Black Crows mixtape.
Yeah. And dude, I remember that exact cassette.
Oh, for
we gotta
sure.
take a picture of that and put
I had
it up
a couple.
on our Instagram.
It's
Boy
hard
sticker
to
with
handle.
this.
I could
Oh,
not
that would
have
be
guessed
five
that
times
in
on
the-
each
Okay,
side.
okay. And then I stayed up even later and I bought the exact Discman that I had back in the 90s. Okay, the Discman was like $10.
Yeah.
The tape player was like $12. And I just had to have them.
Those are
And
in really
nice.
good condition,
Dude, they're
too.
perfect.
Those are in
and
great
they're,
condition.
they're the exact models I had as a kid.
You got to have that
Exact.
ESP on
This is
that
fantastic.
Discman.
Got to have ESP. Got to have that mega bass.
Was this already in there?
No, that's mine.
What is
Oddly
that?
enough,
Oh, yeah.
that's
you got
Antichrist
it.
Superstar, dude.
Dude,
No,
this
here's
is
the funny
awesome.
thing. Last night I was cleaning the house again, up real late, and I had that shit in the pocket of my hoodie, blasting
awesome,
Marilyn Manson on my
Did
headphones.
you have big old headphones too?
I had those headphones
Oh,
on, those
nice.
exact ones, and I was
Nice.
blasting that
Yeah.
shit.
You
Jesus,
got to get that
man.
clap. Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
you got the
Hey,
got the clacking.
feel free to
Let's see.
sample that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Dude,
make a
I'm
beat.
about to.
No, we should make a beat out of these two sounds. Look. That's terrible.
What's the CD in
We'll
there?
just isolate it later.
It's
But yeah, man,
Antichrist.
it's just like
Antichrist.
these
Oh,
relics,
gotcha. Slice it up.
Yeah.
these relics of my past. I had to have them, and I have a bunch of old tapes and old CDs, and like most shit's on Spotify nowadays.
Right.
But it's like I had to have these relics, and what a small price to pay.
Man, you
for
know,
something.
it's the same as like I'm a huge vinyl collector. I love
He's
vinyl.
super pretentious.
You should see my collection. It's insane.
It's really
But
crazy.
at the same time, it's like I listen to everything off Spotify.
Yeah, dude,
You
it's
know,
all right here on the phone.
Very rarely do I listen to my records a lot, but at the same time, it's like, what am I doing? What is
No,
why
I
do
buy
I
the
have
record
all
to
these
have the
things?
record.
I do too.
Yeah.
And you know what? For me, it's a collection thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I have records that I bought for $80 that are worth $200 or $300. You know, like honestly, but it's
you
fun,
got a bunch
man.
of signed
I like
ones
it.
and stuff too.
Yeah, that's true. But again, when it comes to these things, at what point does it deviate from being a piece of nostalgia for yourself and then it being trash?
Oh no, no! If these were the originals,
They are not
guess
mutually-
what? The originals are in the trash. It's because I didn't have them that I want them again. But if these
Yeah.
were mine, they would be in a landfill
That's so
somewhere.
These are
funny.
not mutually exclusive things.
Right.
But I am a collector.
Right.
Like-
yeah.
When I saw these, because I researched, I was like, okay, what was the exact model? And I posted a picture on my Instagram. I was like, here it is. Posted it, and I searched it out on eBay, and then I had to search for like the one that's in the best condition.
Right.
Had to have the belt clip.
Yeah.
Had to have the
Yeah.
battery door. Couldn't be scratched up. And there were some that were cheaper, but I was like, I
Yeah.
want these. I want these relics.
Have you always been a collector growing up?
Man, always.
What about you?
Always.
Yeah, of weird shit. Like I never.
What's the best collection of something you've ever had
It's really cheesy.
throughout your
let's
entire
go.
childhood?
Hit me.
I started a keychain collection when I was like 5.
Nice.
That is the shit.
What I would do is they would be all linked up, and most of them were the ones that had like the little dog tag chain, you know, like the old school, like
Yeah.
Like the Spencer gifts, like plastic
Yeah,
with
yeah,
like
with-
this funny saying
yeah.
inside.
And then anytime my parents would go somewhere and they'd find some like weird dumb keychain, I'd have like this, and it was like it started in a little box, and then it became this like drawer full of keychains.
I'm just imagining you like Scrooge McDucking into a room
bunch
full
of
of
keychains?
keychains.
Yeah.
And speaking of, we have a friend that listens to the show, and I got to give her a shout out. She told me a story one time. She had a keychain that said she was a kid, and she bought a keychain. I think it was from a gas station or some little trinket shop, and it said "Wine me, dine me, 69."
Oh, yeah.
She had no idea what that
That's
meant. She just
fantastic.
thought it was a funny rhyme. So shout out to Valerie.
That's
for that.
fantastic.
Wine
Keychains,
me,
though.
yeah,
What about you,
yeah.
Robbie?
Man, okay. So let's see. The youngest memory I can remember of collecting was like, comic books.
Okay,
that
right,
baseball.
right.
Actually, let's go back.
Yeah.
Baseball cards.
I did that
was
too.
huge, man. And like, it was a big deal. It was.
What about
It was currency.
currency?
It was like
I had a
currency
coin
back then.
collection,
Yeah, like
right?
currency, baseball cards, and then moving forward, it was comic books.
Were you guys too late for Pokemon?
I was a little too old,
But we weren't too late
I
for
was jealous.
Pogs.
I was jealous.
Oh,
yeah,
Pogs,
see,
yes.
Dude, yeah, Pogs too. I had
Pogs.
tubes.
Dude, I've
I
been
had
trying to
tubes
bring
and
back
tubes.
Pogs.
Oh,
dude.
I had tubes
wanna
of
bring back
Pogs.
Pogs.
Dude, I've got
Are they
Pogs.
still around?
I should have brought those two and just laid it all out like show and tell.
I think
for
they
you guys.
remanufactured. I think like 2 years ago, there was like a Pog. I guess the company got hold of it was trending or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I think they did remake them, but it was like in and out.
Because I thought like Pogs is a company. I didn't think they existed anymore, but maybe somebody owned like
Now,
the.
I never played a
trademark or
game of
something.
Pogs, but I had a shit ton of them.
Oh, I
Right.
Pogged.
Did anybody
My favorite
really
thing-
play the game?
Slammers.
I did, for
I
sure.
collected
I just think
slammers.
Yes.
like Hawaiian kids. Like, isn't that where it started? Like, didn't
Yeah,
Pogs
yeah.
start in Hawaii?
Yeah,
like,
it
they
was,
were milk caps.
Yeah, they were milk caps.
Yeah.
What about you? So going back,
Man, for me, like it was dude, I was in the country, so for me is my best collection.
like dirt, sticks,
collected
rocks.
Collecting hardened cow shit.
Yeah.
I
That's my
collected
favorite thing to do.
I collected a lot of shit, but for me it was bugs because
I was
mean,
just going to say that,
growing-
making fun of you, but then
no,
that turned out to be
growing
your
up
thing.
out in the
Continue.
country, dude, our house was not infested, but we would always get scorpions, black widows, fiddlebacks, like snakes in the house.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That would have been my nightmare.
I was young, dude. It still is my nightmare. But I was young, so my mom helped me. But dude, we would find the craziest fucking shit out there.
Yeah.
man.
Dude, there was
Like, we
something
still
magical
do.
about that, dude. Like as a
Yeah.
boy and finding like a snake skin.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Or the elusive like cicada husk.
Well,
Did you never find we had a snake? Okay, I grew up in Choctaw, and one of my earliest memories was like being 5 or 6, and we had this house kind of in the woods, and it was on like a long dirt road, and my mom yelled, ran to the kitchen, and like around the door frame was a fucking snake on the inside of the house.
No.
Just like a piece of Christmas garland around
Yeah.
the top of the door. Yeah.
And that it freaked me out. And then like I remember going to school and telling my friends about it, and then a friend telling me that they found a snake in their toiit. They did the same
Fuck
thing.
that. I would never shit again.
No.
Ever.
So for the longest time, I was scared, literally scared shitless of going to the bathroom. It's like there could be a fucking snake in there.
And that's when you started collecting dirty underwear.
And well, that's when I started just collecting my own shit.
Recycling.
Nice big old shoebox.
Yeah.
What about
mason
some
jars.
snakes on a plane where the snake like comes out of the toilet bowl and like bites the guy square on the dick?
Dude,
Oh,
fuck that. Did you guys collect anything growing up? Were you guys collectors?
Yeah, I collected Legos a lot when I was a kid.
was a
To
kid.
point-
Dude,
to a point
another
where-
Robbie
Yes.
similarity. I was a fellow Lego maniac.
Oh yes, there was at one point when
Lego
episode
me.
3 was coming out. I had every single episode 3 Lego set that they had out.
So
That's
did you
quite
Every
remarkable.
single fucking one.
Yeah.
Did you build the actual? Okay, did you build? Here's what I did. I'd buy the sets, and then I'd build that setup once, and then I'd break it down, and then see what the fuck I can make out of it.
It would depend on the set. Like if it was one of the really big elaborate ones, I wouldn't want to do that because it was kind of a pain in the ass, and I was also
Sure.
proud of the achievement of building this by myself. But yeah, I would definitely do that, and eventually I'd be like, yeah, I'm not playing with this one anymore, so I'll just add it to the big 60-gallon bucket or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Did you ever have
Have
the,
some fun.
the generic? What were the generic Legos called?
I was about
Mega
to
Blocks.
Mega
Mega
Blocks.
Blocks, those
Yeah.
were
I was about to
pieces
say
of shit.
Duplo,
Those were
but that
great.
was like the kid Lego.
then there was,
Those
like,
those
baby
big
Lego.
plastic,
Then there were
like,
Connects,
shit.
right?
I had a few Connects, but
Connects was
never-
tight. They had the coolest roller coaster setups. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
they,
those were
they
pretty
had
cool.
like, as far as like mechanical toys went, like I think their design was like just really cool because it let kids build machines and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah,
guess
absolutely.
like Lego did that with Mindstorms
Touch of
and
Science.
shit like
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
I'd seen
When I
something
was a
like
kid, it was called
Mindstorm.
like Technic. There was like a Lego subdivision
yeah.
called
That was
Technic.
like
Yeah,
for
yeah.
like the older boys though, because it had like all the small like rods and like little connectors
Yep.
and,
And
stuff
like little
that.
motors.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
rubber
yeah,
band
yeah.
powered.
And
There was
stuff,
battery
yeah.
powered.
I was in Target the other night just buying, shit that you buy when you're 35, random shit that you need around the house. And I just decided to take a little walk down the toy aisle just to see.
Why not?
And it was the
At
Legos.
Target, it's
I
the
do that
best.
shit
Yeah.
all the time.
And my
Target's
wife-
got good shit.
Yeah,
My
they had
wife
good
got
toys.
all like, oh, so she bought like some Star Wars Legos.
Nice.
And then
Sweet.
a few little down, I saw a box that said Technics on it. I was like, fuck. And then there was a
know
sign
they still
saying
made that
new. They brought them back. They
Oh,
brought
what?
back a line of Technics, and it was the Dune buggy car.
Oh,
I
cool.
totally had
Nice.
that.
Yeah.
I had that.
Yeah.
I had that.
I wanted to. I should have snagged it. It was like $10.
That's cheap for Legos.
That is
dude.
cheap
Yeah.
for
Even
a
as a
Technics.
kid,
Yeah.
Legos were fucking expensive.
Oh, Diana's
man.
her Star Wars thing she bought was $25.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
And it's this big.
Did you collect anything, Tim?
Well, I collected Legos like the rest of you guys. I collected Hot Wheels. That was something I
I
did.
did have a shitload of Hot Wheels too.
I'm a little pack rat and motherfuck though. I collected all kinds of shit.
You collect everything.
Well, yeah. I mean, I collected.
Even still.
Well, when I was really little, there was this weird infatuation that I had with like stuffed rabbits from when I was like 1 year old. Like my great grandmother had this one. I just called it Bunny, right? And that was like my obsession. But my family just kept buying me stuffed rabbits, even when I was like, 13, 14 years old. So that was kind of like a thing. I was like, why are you guys still buying me stuffed rabbits?
That's so annoying. It's annoying when you get older. It's like my sister, she went through a phase where she liked owls. Like a lot of girls do in like their early 20s, Or it's like owls or peacock feathers or some shit like that. So like her house was completely filled with owls because like that's what my aunt would get her every birthday, every Christmas, every holiday. It was just like super fucking annoying to her after a while, It was almost a curse. Josh is going to go to the bathroom. Just going to announce that on the podcast.
I have to piss.
So
you know what?
So unprofessional.
I have set in for one other podcast one time, and it was a comedian's podcast. It was up at Ferris's studio.
Nice, yeah.
And
was it Ryan?
Yeah,
Ryan
I don't
Drake?
remember. I don't remember. It was several years ago.
Cool.
I think maybe it was Ryan's, but it was a bunch of comedians, and someone pissed in a bottle.
Listen, you can
during the podcast.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but listen. You better sit down to piss in there.
Someone pissed in a bottle and no one knew until someone was like,
"Damn,
did you just piss in that bottle during the middle of the podcast?" And they're like, "Yep."
Dude, that's intense, man. Like,
it was awesome.
You know what?
Fucking
I'd rather hear Josh's Irish Spring in there than to have somebody whip out their dick and piss in a
But
bottle.
it was sneaky. No one
Staring
knew
directly
until it
into
was
your eye.
done. No one knew until
That's
it was
intense.
done.
I don't know how you hide that because
Okay.
that still makes noise.
It was
I'm
awesome.
going to retract my previous
It
statement.
was awesome.
That's kind of tight.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Like,
I was sitting there
all right.
watching and I didn't even know. So
That's awesome.
That's intense. That's really
So,
cool.
okay, let's talk about trash TV. Let's get to that.
yeah.
And, how did that get started?
Well, I guess I'll start the story. It started with me. I grew up. God, I've played probably every kind of music you could think of. I played rock. I played metal, like heavy, like death metal. The last band I was in was an Irish punk band, like Celtic punk.
Irish Spring?
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, Irish Spring.
Irish Spring.
And I was a drummer for all those.
Everybody peed in a bottle on stage.
I think
It was great.
I played bass in one band, and we were fucking awesome. And it was around that time I met Tim. We were great, man. I mean, like, I had to sit down with my mom and have that discussion of like, okay, like you guys are doing really, really well. Like, what's gonna happen if you guys do take off? I had to
It's
have
the
that
buy
talk.
the van discussion,
It's crazy.
and we've all had it with our
Oh, yeah.
parents.
It's crazy.
I remember sitting with my dad. I was in a pop punk band when I was like 18, 19 years old.
What was it called?
Have we all been in pop
Torrance
punk bands?
Crump.
Just out of
It was this.
curiosity.
It was called Torrance Crump.
No,
it was
not
named
me.
after this kid
Not
I went
me.
to college with, but this really nerdy dude. But I remember we got a little, and I mean a little bit of heat. Just the tiniest bit from like
A smidge.
like people from like Texas. Like it wasn't a big deal. But we started playing out of Oklahoma City a little bit and going around. And I remember sitting on my couch with my dad, well, his couch in my dad's house, and literally being in tears. Dad, we just need a van. Dad, if we need a van and a box trailer. Please help me with this. I will do whatever it takes to pay you back. I'm literally crying because it meant so much to me.
Right.
So
it
go
does.
on. Yeah, you know that feeling though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like, we weren't necessarily getting heat, but we were playing bigger shows. It's funny. My mom was our manager. And somehow, some way, she got us on these, like, killer fucking shows, dude. Like, we're opening up for bigger bands at the Diamond. And it's like, how are you doing this, Mom? Like, what the fuck? But anyway.
What was the band?
Blank Stare.
Okay.
Anyway, like, we did our thing, and that broke up. So I joined the Celtic punk band, played with them for a long time, like 5 or 6 years. That broke up. Every single band broke up because of a girl.
That's how it happens, man.
Just saying.
Always.
So
Always.
I started doing my thing. I'd always written raps and stuff, like, since I had a fucking flip phone. And, it was all goofy shit. I mean, some of it was serious. It was funny.
Yeah.
But then one of my good friends was like, you should do something with this. You should start rapping. And so me and her actually started a band called DFG, a band. It was just me and then another friend who we both rapped. Is like a kind of goofy D-Antwoord type thing.
Right.
And we played for about a year and a half, and it was fun, really goofy, really like uplifting type stuff, like stuff she'd want to play like in front of kids. You know what I mean? So, you know, it wasn't ever really offensive or anything like that. And then that kind of faded away. And when that faded away, I just started writing my own thing. I'd written so much stuff during this period that didn't really fit with that theme of, you know, like goofy positivity, like funny type raps. And that was when I kind of started doing my own stuff, just finding beats online and writing so many songs. And that's when I found Tim, because we kind of worked together in a project with another one of our friends where he DJ'd. I played drums. I think we played like 1 or 2 shows together. Yeah. And it never really came through. And so I was like, hey, dude, you're literally the only person I know who can DJ. I started Trash TV. I didn't want anybody to fucking be in my band. I wanted it to be just me and an iPod because I can't break my own band up. You know what I mean? Right. I was tired of things falling apart in front of me. Things that were like otherwise looking good. I didn't want it to fall apart. So it was a big step bringing Tim in. But as soon as I did, you know, like I said, he had been in Zoot Suit, my favorite local band. We'd been friends forever.
Oh, shit.
And so I knew he sang and did stuff, but I brought him in mainly to DJ. But then there came a point where if I needed a verse filled in or I didn't have a hook for something, Tim was there and he'd improvise it and that would just be it. It wasn't even a matter of writing or like working on anything. He'd just do something and then that was it.
Yeah.
So this whole time we've been playing pretty much songs I found online. And now we're at the point where this next CD we're about to put out, our first LP, is going to be all original stuff.
Nice.
Stuff that he's composed and I've written, and then we're going to get Robbie in on it, and it's going to be just, you know,
we got a shitload of
no
sweet
other
features,
producers.
too.
Yeah.
We got a handful of some shit.
It's insane.
Some sweet features.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really insane. Like, we've taken the best of local talent, and it's not, you know, we play with so many other rappers, and we're friends with all of them. Any other rappers that are listening to this, don't take offense, but we're taking like our good friends that have really been there for us. We've got this kid on it. Can I talk about Lone Moon?
Dude, go for it.
We've got this kid, man.
He's incredible.
Right. Our friend Jordan told us about this kid. He had to been 17 at the time. He's like, check this dude out. So we get involved with this kid through our friend Jordan. And I say kid because I think he's only 18 right now.
I think so, yeah.
But dude, he's had like over 1 million streams on SoundCloud.
What you have to understand, this kid, Lone Moon, was beating Skrillex in dubstep charts.
Literally on SoundCloud. Literally. Higher than Skrillex.
On just like plays and like visibility and shit alone. Like he was dominating for like 2 weeks.
And we can't play with him because we can't take him into any of the bars.
We can't take him to the bars. Well, okay, and I know that there's like some legal paperwork that you can like. Somebody had explained it to me one point in time. Like, there's some paperwork that you can like go and get that gives you permissions to like perform in a bar when you're underage.
But it's like going to work. You have to leave as soon as you're done.
Leave as soon as you're done, and if you're caught violating like any of the rules or something, it's like double the fines and double the consequence because you went into this knowing that you shouldn't have fucking been there in the first place. That kind of thing. But
like Grimes just retweeted him the other day as like one of her top 5 favorite
that's tight
independent artists.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. This kid
fucking
is 18.
He just dropped an album, by the way, people.
You should bring him in here.
Lone Moon.
All one word.
Give him our code 43.
Yeah.
The first show we ever played
really
was with him was downstairs. We brought him in for a show.
Yeah, cool.
We've played several shows.
Is he from here?
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay, cool. He's from Oklahoma. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, and he's crazy, man. Like he's just he started out doing dubstep and stuff, but now he's really gone into the rap scene.
We pulled him in for like one of the features on one of the tracks that we'd been working on. And what's really cool is like with all of the features that we've done, like, because like I have a small studio set up in the second bedroom, which is kind of what we've been using to like just kind of like record the stuff and get it done. It's my personal workspace. It's trashed 9 times out of 10 just because I'm in there for 8 hours, 10 hours at a time when I have a fucking day off or some shit and I'm working on something. But like all of the features that we've had have all just been like real spur of the moment. It's one of those where I'd kind of been dicking around with a beat and then the beat kind of turned into something, and then Ronnie's like, I've got something for that, and then somebody else is in the house, like, you know, like
hanging out.
Yeah, like hanging out and just
Doing
having
things.
Doing other things.
Doing other
as we
things,
say.
yeah.
Based
Right.
off of that hand motion, jerking off.
It looked like he was like,
I know it was a little,
like
little
sucking a real
very
big dick.
long.
Yeah, like
It's,
really
fast.
It's a handful of MCs. There's a soggy biscuit when like all is
Okay,
said and
all right,
done.
all right.
Yeah. What else do you do in that situation?
But no,
You know,
I
just
You
bro
eat
time.
yeah,
Bro
right.
time. Bro time.
Exactly.
I guess what there's to say is we haven't really pulled in like the people we should pull in, because I mean there's people, you know,
we
Chief
did,
Peace, Sativa Prophets, they're really making their name. JB,
Nice,
Josh.
yeah.
You know, I want to do songs with all these people. I want them to want to do songs with me too. But at the same time, like, I need to make a name for myself.
Right.
I want to be, my goal for Trash TV is to be the biggest underground artist in the city. I want to be the least famous person that exists.
Right.
And like, I want all the fame, but I don't want all the fame. You know, and I don't know where to find that middle. I don't know where to find that middle ground.
But you know the really interesting thing about you, Ronnie, is as long as I have known you, you've been everybody's friend.
Right.
Like that has been your one
That's
thing.
very
You
true.
are the most underground motherfucker there is, just in regards to like, so like, okay, like I'll meet somebody from Norman, right? We were talking about a small world earlier. Like Oklahoma City metro area is the epitome of small world. Like,
Yeah.
like no shit. Like 7 times out of 10, when I meet a new person, they know who you are or know somebody that you know, like immediately. Yeah. And that's kind of, and like that's been part of your appeal too. Like I feel with the project is like you're spitting honest shit about who you are and what it is that you're doing. But people know you, and people have known you. You know like your friend base and like your collection of people, the group that is our friends and the community that we're finding and kind of like feeling out as this whole thing is going along. It's like they all know and love you as a person, and they stand behind what it is that you're doing. And that's something that I think is really unique, because even more than the music is like you build relationships with these people.
No, that's true. And I am really good at doing that. And like I said, it goes back to me knowing a lot of people. You know, those people that I grew up with all throughout my school years. When you know someone from when they're a child, they're your best friend.
Yeah.
So 50% of my graduating class were my best friends growing up, you know? And when those people spread out after high school and go all around the country, I've got people all around the country that I've known since they were a child. I know all the most embarrassing moments that they've ever had.
Right.
You know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's a commentary on like sincere camaraderie.
Right. Well, also, especially growing up, living out in the country, it was weird. During elementary school, we'd always have field trips out to like my family's house.
Really?
Yeah, because we live on a farm, more or less.
Right. So that was kind of out of the ordinary.
Yeah, and like everybody loved it. I was like, oh, great, we're going to go on a field trip to my fucking house. In 5th grade, everybody went to Frontier City, like for their big 5th grade graduation field trip. We went out to my house for my 5th grade.
Really?
Great. Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quick break,
Right.
and we're going to get back into some things. I have a bunch of questions here for you guys. So.
Cool.
All right, be right back.
Maybe we can smoke, maybe we can roll, we can smoke a no, baby we can blow, and then we'll go downtown. Baby we can go downtown. Maybe we can smoke, maybe we can roll, smoke another oh, baby we can blow, and then we'll go downtown. Baby we can go downtown. Look. From the hacienda, for a weekend, no pretender. But there's just one small dilemma, I can't quite tell if you're into me, or was it just the weed? I know we smoked a couple trees, but logically I think that if you want about it, you would leave. But you haven't yet, I bet the things you thought you sweat were all but long forgotten when I handed you a cigarette. Lit the fire, took you higher, we inhaled desire. I had crazy, sexy, cool on cassette in the Corvette. You said cool, you're sexy, I was thinking you were crazy, but I looked up at your left eye, it was ocean blue and hazy. I said, yeah, amazing, what's it take to be a baby? Cause I'll give up everything for us to kick it on the daily. All she said was maybe cracked a smile, hella wide. I spun the tires and we drove off deep into the night. Looking at me with those blue eyes, she said, forever is a long time, let's start with tonight. Maybe we can smoke, maybe we can roll, we can smoke a no, baby we can blow, and then we'll go downtown. Baby we can go downtown. Maybe we can smoke, maybe we can roll, smoke another oh, baby we can blow, and then we'll go downtown. Baby we can go downtown.
on a verse is yet irrelevant. I'll go and spit one for the hell of it. Solo dolo, living bodies relevant. Normally reticent, there's no telling if what I've been thinking is curb me a sedative train of that depressed benevolence. See, I'm nervous. Love from a lover like you, I never deserve it. Place at a table for two, you never reserve it. And if we telling the truth, the flow and reword it. Curve on my pitch and hella recurve it. Start at the top of the sentence bit and not be introverted. Cause the goddamn fact of the matter is I'm too caught up with business. Punching clock, hustling ambitious. Wondering if you think I'd take the time to grant your wishes. If your friends had never dipped so hard, we'd step out in the stillness. If a downtown OKC, 4 a.m. you feel me? You cast your gaze, you slip inside my fucking mind, you steal me. Under Harkins neon sign, the kind of light won't ever reveal me. In that moment, love is blind, the city lights feel so surreal. We
Maybe we can smoke, maybe we can roll. We can smoke a no, baby, we can blow. And then we'll go downtown. Baby, we can go downtown. Baby, we can smoke, maybe we can roll. Smoke another, oh, baby, we can blow. And then we'll go downtown. Baby, we can go downtown.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to Boys, episode 42. We are here with Trash
time.
TV, and you just heard maybe a brand new song, not even out yet,
Not even
named yet.
Fun fact, I'm not on the one that you currently have.
Not even officially named yet.
You know, we only have
That's okay,
one
though.
song that's technically out, and our friends at S&B Body Arts, they got on Facebook. They're like, "Hey, do there any local musicians have any music that they want to use for this radio spot?" So I was like, "Yeah, dude!" Like, and of course, like hundreds of people were like, "Yeah, I'll use our shit," and randomly they used our shit.
Nice.
And so you might
On a side note, I'm pissed about it, all right?
Rightfully so.
Okay, and it's fair because, like, I was being a dumbass about it. Like, I was excited at the opportunity of radio play. Like, that sounded like that's sweet.
Yeah,
like, anybody that produces any kind of music, like,
Right.
radio play, yeah, let's do it. And, like, Ronnie hits me up. He's like, yo, my friend is, like, trying to do some, like, commercials for the radio. And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. I work for a door-to-door company. Like, we do some, like, window replacement stuff. So like as a manager for this company, like I sit in a van a lot, like all day, and I'm listening to the radio or whatever. These fuckers, they took my song like literally it was almost like 2.5-3 months ago at this point. I'm hearing it twice an hour. I'm like,
all
why?
the time. We're on the
Why
radio
did I get-
all the time.
And the royalties are just coming in, right?
I
Yeah, fat cash.
fucking
Fat
wish. If you're listening,
In fairness, you don't get
body
royalties
art,
off radio anyway.
You guys have a sweet commercial. It sounds fucking dope.
It's
Where's my
dope.
cut? If you have enough money to be running it for like 3 months, you have enough money
we
to
didn't-
pay the producer.
we
Right?
didn't have
Like this.
Hey, at
Sweat your
least,
beak
at
a
least
little
get a
bit.
sweet tattoo out
That's
of the
what I'm
deal.
saying.
Yeah, right.
I need a
I
tattoo.
should actually.
You know what?
I bet I could negotiate that
Dude,
at this point.
yeah.
It's like, look,
Steph
I
will give
won't.
it to us.
But for all of us.
It's
Everybody.
like, look,
Yeah,
the
they
song
give it
is
to us.
registered to
They
my
give it to us.
BMI. I won't sue the fuck out of you if I can just get a 3/4 sleeve.
They'll-
It's no big
Yeah.
deal. Yeah.
Fair trade. Okay, so we can check you guys out at facebook.com/trashtvokc or soundcloud.com/trashtv.
Yes.
correct?
Also Twitter, Instagram. What else do we have? I think I might be
J-Date? We on J-Date?
No.
Christian Mingle.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Grinder.
Grinder, yes. Yes.
You know.
No, definitely.
Grinder.
Are we about to end?
No, not yet.
Trash
Okay,
TV
cool.
OKC, Twitter, Instagram. Please add us. We're needing followers big time.
Yeah, you're
bang.
growing. You're growing this. You're
Facebook
growing this.
also.
You're growing
presence.
boys.
Big time.
Okay, I want to show you
YouTube,
guys something.
YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
YouTube.
Okay,
YouTube.
YouTube too. Yeah, Trash TV. You know what I did? Honestly, I just Googled Trash TV Oklahoma City,
Yes.
and it was all
Yes,
popped up.
everything.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so
Thanks, Google.
Speaking of Aaron Pierce, we were talking about him earlier. He showed me something today, and I know you guys are into making beats and making sounds and getting
You
samples.
better believe it.
Yeah.
I want to show you something fucking awesome that I
right.
just learned today.
Hit me
so
with
I'm
it.
going to cue up a song that you guys might have heard, and I'm going to show you this little trick. So I'm holding my iPhone in my hand here, and now, as we were talking about royalties earlier, if you want to use this, that's cool, but
Okay.
you have to do it like this.
All right.
So. Entertain me for just a moment.
Yeah. Ready, 3, 2, 1. I'm sticking out the gate swinging. Yeah. Yeah. Ready, 3, 2, 1, I'm stepping out the gate swinging. Sucker punch a massive leap, your inner ears ringing. Got creative brilliance way back when in the beginning, but dumbass, I need a rest. You put your boy in and finish out. Swing, better, bring subject matter, sing. Hit him with soliloquy, make poignant poems. Ding!
And we
How
dropped the
fucking
mic.
cool is that, dude?
Yeah, it's
I was
cool.
like, wow.
So is that like an app or something?
No, I am playing Spotify and I'm using my mouth by the speaker to
Well, yeah, you could do
like
it
a
with your hands.
vocoder
too.
almost.
It's the Jews harp of 2017, bro.
Amazing. I said, I'm going to annoy my wife with that all week. It's going to be like, what's for dinner? Where are we going to eat?
Did you say the Jews harp?
Hello.
Jews harp of 2017.
Jeez, let's get some.
The thing that's
Donald
Snoopy,
Trump.
right?
Wow. Let's just say we are in Trump's America.
All right,
Trump
jeez.
TV live in the studio tonight.
It's the greatest hip hop group of all time.
So one question I had for you
That's a pretty
guys, and
impression.
it might be a question for you, Tim.
Thank you, though.
I've always been very, very interested and enticed by making beats, but I never really knew where to start. Like I hear these amazing samples and
You
beats.
start at one.
Like on I Love New York. It is my
No,
favorite
I'm
song
not
that I've heard
not
from
mine.
you guys.
Start at 4.
Like that song has this like awesome like 90s hip hop quality to
Yeah.
it. One of my favorite rappers is Del the Funky Homo Sapien.
Oh, I love Del.
Yeah, and he's wonderful. Part of the Gorillas, had an awesome solo career.
Yeah.
And
Don't you on
it-
30-30 on then, yeah.
it was very reminiscent of this like fun
Very
hip
much
hop
so.
and the story you tell, Ronnie, is just like it's amazing. Like I
Yeah.
remember that from the UCO days because you
I'm
performed
surprised
that
they
on
let
there.
it. Yeah, I can't believe I did.
Yeah, you're talking about fucking tripping in New York. Like it's amazing. So my question for you, Tim, is like, how do you go about making this? And it's really a question for all of you guys. But how do you create?
Can
these
I
things?
start?
Yeah,
Can I preface that?
Do it.
Give a little disclaimer. Tim didn't make that beat. That was off my first EP. Actually, all the stuff we did on that, Tim didn't make. But this new album we're making is better than all that.
Nice,
Has the same 90s feel and vibe, and Tim made all of it.
awesome. How do you do it?
Okay, so like I went to ACM for audio production, like audio engineering, like Academy of Contemporary Music through Bricktown. It's like a super cool little thing that like Scott Booker, he's the manager of the Flaming Lips. He runs Hellfire Enterprises. He's kind of the tits like in OKC like music scene, right? The school itself, like I'd started like okay. So long story short, there was this chick that I was chasing after, and everything went to shit, right? And it was the most specific thing, right? Because I'd started putting money away to like get an engagement ring for this chick. I had like $1,400 set aside, right? Come to find out, like the friend that I was living with was actually sleeping with like this chick. Yeah, well, it was a shit show to say the least. Water under the bridge. Long story short, there was a conversation that she and I had, and she was like, well. She says, I don't know why you spend so much time dicking around with that fucking stupid software. You're never going to be a DJ anyway. Right? So like when push came to shove and everything kind of fell apart, that was kind of that, well, I prefaced it like earlier, the rug getting kind of yanked out from under you. That was kind of that moment for me. And it was like, I decided in that moment, I said, you know what? Like, this is what I want to do. I want to make beats. Like I want to be able to like, I have this joke, right? Like it's like white dudes can't dance and the clever ones are the ones that picked up a pair of turntables and made everybody else do it. Right. So I bought myself a turntable controller and some speaker monitors and I started fucking around with Fruity Loops. Like if you want to make beats,
I want to sample. That's the thing. Is like I hear so much music that I love so much.
I will say,
Ableton.
and I'm so curious on how to make that into something
sampling
else.
is a lot easier than it sounds. I kind of, and Tim, you know more about this than I do, but just for me being a very like layman with all of this, I was taking some kind of lessons on how to use the sample pad that I have when I was still at ACM.
SPDS.
The SPDSX. Shout out to Roland.
Nice. I had the SP404 for a while.
very nice.
It was
Very
dope.
nice.
Yeah.
That's
I
very
did a
dope.
404. That kind of makes my dick hard.
It was nice. It was
A
the
little
original.
bit.
It wasn't
Yours
the
too,
newer
huh?
one. It wasn't the newer one. It was the old one.
I got
but-
the brand new fresh model. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Ooh,
nice.
That's the brag. Graduation present. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But really, sampling is pretty easy, especially if you have something like that, or really any kind of controller, because I mean, you can literally record something on your phone, and if you have a device that you can plug in via USB, you can just rip it straight off of your phone and then link it right in.
Okay.
So I mean, really, sampling is kind of as easy as you hear a sound that you like, and then you record it on whatever device you have. It doesn't necessarily have to be that great quality because you're probably gonna fuck with it anyway, and then put it into whatever. If you're gonna use a DAW, awesome. Or if you're just going to rip it straight to a device, then just do that. I mean, it's really just as simple as you hear it, record it.
I recently, I kind of went through this phase. Like I played guitar since I was like 14 years old. I've been in bands, blah, 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 whatever. It doesn't matter. But I recently got into like getting synthesizers.
Yes.
And
Nice.
okay, so I actually have in my bag
Oh, there you go.
this little guy.
Ooh.
What?
So pretty.
That is
Oh,
beautiful.
is that micro?
It's a micro brute,
That's
limited
a
edition.
micro
It's got the N64 finish on it.
Can I touch it?
Well, yeah, we'll play
Well,
with
no,
it here in
let's-
a little bit, but
I wanna
you can
touch
hold
it.
right now. It was actually in my bag because I brought it to work today. But I one thing I got, my favorite toy I got was the Korg Volca sample. It's this little white box that you can actually put sound into from your phone. It's amazing. And I make beats out of the stuff that's in there, and I've imported some sounds, but it's like I feel like I'm still missing something. Do you ever feel that way, Josh? Like you're missing. Like we've made beats. Like Josh and I have actually written raps and made beats. But it's like I'm missing something that makes it like truly authentic.
Okay, and what's like really funny about that? Okay, so like the song that we played earlier, maybe, like the working title song, that song, like. Okay, so like Ableton Live, right? Like when I was up at ACM, I had a professor. His name was Dustin Ragland. He taught an MIT class. It was Music Information Technology, and it was a supplemental DAW, right? Like for those that aren't like familiar, a DAW, a DAW is a digital audio workstation. It's any kind of software that you're going to be using to like edit audio. It's Audacity, it's Reason, it's Pro Tools, it's Logic, it's GarageBand. Anything that's going to like handle and sample like digital audio is a DAW. The MIT2 class that I was taking was focused around Ableton, right? When I had started at ACM, the bassist for my band Zoot Suit, Jack Mayu, like he was a production major, and my buddy, Augustine Morales, he goes by Morpay.
Getting huge, by the way.
He is a production motherfucker.
Nice.
He's playing Midlands, which is going to be fucking crazy. I don't know if anybody's
big.
Yeah. This kid's got his connections set up. He's been forum trolling. He's been working his ass off to get his like spot in there. But like he gave me and my buddy Jack, he was like, "This is Ableton. This is the you know what I mean." He's like, I'm gonna show you guys how to use this software. I want to show you how it's gonna empower you to make beats and things like that. I'd started with Fruity Loops. So I was fucking with Pro Tools and Reason. Ableton's kind of like the intuitive thing. And what I was saying earlier about like the way that Ableton works is like, as far as sampling goes, like Ableton has something that's really cool. It's called a simpler. Right? It's like a sampler, but what it does, say you like find like this really cool smooth jazz track, right? You hear a horn sample and you're like, I want that horn sample. You drop, you open up like, say it's a new MIDI instrument, like a musical instrument digital interface. It's like it's a instrument track that you can drop a VST, like a plug-in synthesizer of some kind. You drop in a simpler, and what it does is it in like some of the more recent versions, it has the slice function. So for the older school style beats, like New York is that kind of thing where it has sort of like this 8-bar sort of like structure to it. What you can do is like with the simpler, you take like any song that you like, right? You drop it into like, you drop it into the simpler, and then you switch it over to like the slice function. And what's really cool is in a waveform, right? Like if you're looking at audio, like in a linear sort of format, like a timeline or anything, like if you see any kind of waveform, it's going to have like peaks and valleys, right? Like when things are loud, you can
see the beat.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what the software does is based on a sensitivity of 0 to 100%, a scaling value. You can kind of set it wherever you want. It's going to look for transients. That's where the waveform like peaks. It's anything that's loud. It's any sort of stop plosive. That's a PK, like a kick drum, a snare drum, anything like that. It's going to look for those beats. And what it does is it slices up the audio in between. It lays these anchors and then takes the samples that it has and lays them out in a keyboard-like format. So you could take like any sort of smooth jazz song and literally going up like chromatically. If you're hitting all the white keys and all the black keys going up, you hear the song if you're tapping the keys like in order, but it lets you take like, you know, like you can adjust the lengths of the boundaries and stuff like that. But that's kind of like, I mean, for a lot of like that more old school sounding kind of thing, that's like a lot of the samples. Maybe, for example, we had taken, I found on YouTube, it was like a studio session of, let's get it on, maybe like a smooth jazz version of something like that. But like there was this sweet intro that they did that had like a really cool horn sample, and I used the simpler to do that because it breaks it up like key by key into different little chunks. And it has this ability where it's like this little icon. You click it, it's headphones, and you click it and you scale up and down this sort of like piano in the program that gives you like different sounds and things like that. And more or less, it's like my theory's kind of shit. Like I went to school, right? Like I went to school for music. My theory is not the greatest. It's getting better. Like I've had a lot of professors and like a lot of classes that have like sort of developed it over time.
But you know it sounds good.
Yeah. And that's kind of the thing. It's like, if you know how a song should sound, like with the question answer format, like you just find stuff that just kind of flows, if that makes sense.
No, totally.
You drag your mouse up and down until you find a sample that works, and then you drop it in a rhythm grid that like happens. You know what I mean? And a lot of and that's kind of the funny thing too, because you were asking about, it's like, how do you make good beats? It's like, the best shit just happens. You know what I mean? It's like,
it's those happy accidents, man.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like, there was another song that we did. It was the one that was used for the commercial that we did with S&B Body Arts. It's called Poppin' Off. The samples that I found, like I was riding around with my dad one day, right? Like he was wanting to get some work done on the car. Like he still owns my car. Like that's just kind of the
yeah, sure.
Yeah, in 2017. Fuck me, right?
Right. We're in Trump's America now.
Yeah.
Build a wall, it'll be fine. But I'm running around with my dad because we're getting like some oil filter or something on the car, right? And he's listening to this like this YouTube version of like a smooth jazz, just sort of like, because my dad was into Chicago. Like my dad was into like, he liked classic rock, but he was in sort of like that. He was one of those
Soft
hipsters of like the 70s.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
bands that nobody fucking listened to. I mean, Chicago was pretty well listened to, but of like classic rock, it's not the most like spoken of, just because their timbre became more like the synth pop thing that they did in the 80s. Anyway, my dad was kind of a music hipster of like the 60s and 70s. But like he was listening to this one like YouTube version of just like a smooth jazz like track or whatever. And there came this chunk where it was like, I heard a horn sample, right? 8 bars. No more than fucking like 8 bars of just horns doing like some kind of like bow, bam, bam, ba-da-da. You know what I mean? And it's like you hear that chunk and it's like the way Ableton works, because I described it earlier, it's all about like layering clips on top of one another. If you can like count, right? Most music that you're going to hear on the radio is in a 4/4 time signature, right? A quarter note gets the beat. And then there's like 4 quarter notes in a measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, that kind of thing. Like that's typical for most radio pop. Live lets you like select the say 4 bars, 8 bars, 16 bars, however you want to subdivide it, chunk that you want, and just kind of like sample it out like that.
Nice.
So the way that the simpler works is you've broken up this like sort of beat. You can reverse the sample, you can delay the sample, all kinds of crazy shit. You can get as destructive as you want with it. But I mean, I just find something that has some like really cool vibes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of the cool thing of like, I think the music of our generation, because the guy that did Uptown Funk.
My favorite, fucking Bruno Mars, man. And Mark Ronson,
the producer. He did a TED Talk at one point. He's talking about like the music of today, because like he steals samples.
Right.
Like everybody fucking steals samples.
And every guitar player steals licks or sounds or influences, you know?
Well, and hip hop is a really cool thing because it lets you put on display the things that like inspire you. You know what I mean? Like the artists that like really like grab you, the people that have the vibes, that one track that shuffled up on a radio at one point in time when you're driving around in your car late, you know, coming home from work or whatever. The first time you've ever heard that song, I think it was like what was that song? Fucking J. Cole. Power Trip. Okay, so like songs like that, the songs that shuffle up that just have like a really cool vibe, and you hear something in there. I mean, that's kind of where I start with a lot of my beats.
That's cool.
It's like if I'm listening to something that's completely unrelated, some completely like obscure genre, some sort of like radio plug or just some sound effect somewhere that you just hear it and you're like, I bet if I were to repeat that over the course of 16 bars and like tweak it a little bit, it sounds fucking cool.
And it creates this like hypnotic effect.
Right, yeah.
Like I remember one time, like back in the day, like Josh and I, this was like, we had no idea what we were doing.
At all.
But we sampled an Alabama song. And it's the I'm in a hurry to get things done. And it was like, we cut it up. And this was like, literally like I felt like it was so like caveman.
Yeah.
Because we were cutting it up in Cool Edit Pro and looping.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude. that's
Totally
like some
use
Windows
Edit
3.1
Pro.
shit.
Dude,
too.
my
God.
dad uses.
Totally
My dad still uses. Well, I don't know if he still uses Cool Edit. He might have switched over to Audacity, but my
Audacity.
mom does like voiceover work.
Audacity, yeah.
They used
Yeah.
to do broadcasting. Like my parents are still doing like they do like instructional videos for like healthcare modules and things like that. But my dad's still using like Cool Edit. Like he's been using it since like '95.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Hey,
Yeah,
But
it
we
makes
cut up,
sense of
we cut
reinventing
up
the
this
wheel.
Alabama song, and it was like because like the verse is like. Or the chorus, I'm in a hurry to get things done. But we cut it up so it was like, I'm in a hurry, hurry, I'm in a hurry, hurry. And we put it to a beat and it sounded awesome. And you listen to it for a while. Exactly.
Yeah.
You listen to it for a while
Yeah.
and it becomes this hypnotic. And
Yeah.
then you
You can
get
start
into like
filtering it to
the
it, yeah.
filtering and the modulation and the being slightly off time.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it created this like
Or the
amazing.
fading it in and out kind of shit.
That's the issue with us is we're trying to find out where is that legal line of samples that we can put out that nobody's gonna know what the fuck it is. Because Tim does a great job of chopping it up so that you're not gonna know what the fuck it is. But we're working on a song right now that's got a Sufjan Stevens sample in it that you would never know, except that Sufjan has that voice that you just know. Right. He can sing one note and you know who it is. Right. We're towing that line of, is this legal to use?
Because one of the beats that
Well, I
we've
mean,
been
that's hip hop in general.
Yeah,
in fairness.
well,
It's
is
not-
that
But
legal?
are we
though?
gonna have to
Like,
pay
is it-
royalties?
I mean, copyright law is made to be purposely vague because it's basically up to the interpretation of whatever court you're in at the time if you get taken that far.
Yeah.
I think the general guidelines are like you can have like 2 seconds that are recognizable, but
I
anything
read
more
that's
than
myth.
that.
That's myth.
Yeah.
Really? Well, then that
You
was
read? What is it? Hit us with it.
Okay.
Hit us with it.
No,
No,
no
here's the
zero
interesting.
seconds.
No, here's the interesting thing though, because that was in a textbook. I took a copyright class when I was at ACM, so that's interesting.
Weird. Yeah.
that's
the
a
jury's
myth.
still out on that.
Well,
one.
there's the internet fake.
I mean,
fake
again-
news.
Yeah, yeah.
Do the Trump.
All right, listen, it's fake news.
Oh my god!
Listen, guys, listen. Here's the thing. As far as I'm concerned, if
Are we gonna have a Trump off here? Because listen, I've been around a lot of great
Listen.
Trumps.
If you can build a wall,
is it a burning?
Oh my god! Put 5 Trumps in a room. What do you get? A fucking
It's the
badass
best
beat.
podcast.
bad
It's the
idea.
best beat ever. Listen,
People are telling me.
we all have the hand movements now.
Oh, yeah,
It's
it's the hand movements.
Dude,
You have to have that.
the accordion.
No, yeah, I was gonna say
And
not to stop all this, but the accordion is hands down the funniest fucking thing I've seen
Oh
in
my
probably
god!
10
It is
years.
fucking hilarious.
no,
that
it-
thing is amazing.
Okay, listen, I've seen a lot of accordions. I've seen a lot of GIFs, okay? No, but, okay, the accordion is great, but also the Winona Ryder faces with the
Oh,
pizza.
that was-
that was
incredible.
Yeah.
Amazing.
When it flies into his mouth, oh man,
Oh,
I lost it. I
thank
fucking
you.
lost it.
I can't.
It's, oh man, it's so good. Okay, so let me ask, like, what's next, guys? I know you said you're working on a new album.
Well, yeah,
Coming
that's
up?
pretty much next. I mean, we're working on this new album. It's gonna be 10 tracks, I think. Maybe
What are we gonna call it?
Pilot.
You know, we'll get
I think
there
it's gonna be called.
eventually.
I think it's gonna be called Pilot.
I think it should be
Keeping
called
with the TV thing.
I kind of
Yeah.
agree with
How about
that.
Boys?
Boys.
No,
Right?
no,
Like a
that's
little crossover
and you can
action.
pay
I'll
us a
come do
little-
a verse.
yeah.
I'll come
Maybe
do a
we'll
verse
name
as
it-
Donald Trump.
Can you do a
Maybe-
verse? Because we have a couple songs that still need some features.
I mean, Josh and I have known to
If-
kick a rhyme from time
there
to
you
time.
go.
if
right there.
boys,
You just did it. You just
I mean,
did
if
it.
Boys wants
Beautiful,
to do
beautiful.
a
Dude,
verse,
could we, okay.
Do you want to do it?
This is non-obligational, but if Boys could do like
I'm
10
talking like a
seconds,
bridge, like a bridge.
some
It'll be the
harmonies,
best bridge.
perhaps.
Yeah.
are,
Oh
you,
my
are you
God.
guys ready?
I don't freestyle.
No, yeah, we actually made a
You
rule.
know what? I don't freestyle either.
We made a rule. I was like, man, I was like, the douchiest thing we could do tonight is be like, hey, Ronnie, kick a little verse for us tonight.
I was getting ready for it.
We're here
you're
to
really
talk,
good
not
freestyle
rap.
I was getting
Were
ready
you
for
thinking
it.
about it? Where you're like, they're gonna ask me to rap.
Oh yeah, dude. Of course. I mean,
that
that's the first
shit.
thing everybody asks.
Yeah,
but
no.
you know, I don't freestyle. I would. I mean, I'll give it my best
I
try,
feel-
but I'm
you know
not
my
good.
opinion on it? Wit is wit, regardless of how long it takes to put together.
Sure.
We're witty
True.
on the mic without
How
beats,
about
man.
ma-
It's like the next level.
Just pretend like the beat isn't
But
there.
can you be
You'll be
witty
okay.
and rhyme? That's the
Dude.
question.
Oh,
All,
yeah.
hey, you send me that track, and I'm gonna send you some tracks.
Oh
and
boy.
Hey, doesn't have to worry.
How about maybe
Yeah?
how about maybe not on the album, but a B-side? And,
Wonderful.
And we
Ooh, there
get
we go.
invited back for a second.
Short,
podcast.
short
All
for the
right.
B side, short for
premiere.
boy side.
Boom.
The boy
That's
side.
gonna be my new rap name, B-side.
No,
Ooh, there you go.
B-side and Lil Joshy.
Robbie B sides.
honestly,
Bobby B side.
we're trying to finish up this album. We got so much fucking work ahead of us. we got to get Robbie. He's going to do live drums on the whole thing.
Yep.
We're talking about re-recording all of our vocals on everything.
Have you thought about doing live bass, like having an actual bass player come in and do
No, not
bass
really.
lines?
Well,
Or do you
thought
sample
about it.
bass line?
I mean, we've thought about it, dude. All right, can I say something? Me and Robbie, our number one, well, my number one rap superstar idol right now is Chance the Rapper.
Yeah, I think I'm probably with you on that.
And he tours with his whole, band. And that's, that was my inspiration moving forward into this project.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've always thought about having a live band,
Your
a
live
keyboard
backing
player, a bass player, guitar player, all that. But I started this not wanting anybody in my band.
Right.
So this is a stretch.
So
The less mouths to feed.
I don't even know why I'm here, honestly.
Having a drummer.
'Cause your name's
I mean,
Robbie.
that's going to
Exactly.
be the end of it.
And then
I
again,
think.
and then when you get that van,
No, I think a
More people to take on the
drummer.
road.
I think
After
a
we cry
drummer
to our
and a
parents.
DJ is like
No,
the shit.
I agree.
man.
And
yeah.
and Josh Silly's done it. It's been done. But I think, our style, I want to this is perfect for boys because I want to encapsulate the 90s.
yeah.
I'm a 90s kid. My favorite music
Cheers.
is 90s. If they
We
had a
all are.
90s station, I would listen to that
yeah.
Okay.
all the time.
All right, you're a 90s kid. Let's go around the horn, starting with you. Your rapper, favorite 90s rapper.
Okay, well, my
Or favorite 90s hip hop album.
Okay, well, let me say, I don't know my favorite 90s hip hop album, but like one of my first cassettes I ever remember owning was like Skilo.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I skated to that at the skating rink.
Yeah,
dude.
And
Classic.
my first CD I ever owned was Crazy Sexy Cool by TLC.
There you go.
Dude,
And-
legit,
and I-
legit,
and I-
man.
skating shit.
And I
bro.
reference it, yeah.
All right, what about you, Josh?
Dude, Snoop Dogg Doggy Style was the
All right,
that was the album
seminal classic.
that got me
Yes.
into rap, and I still say that's the one you have to put everything
Yeah.
against.
All right, Tim.
Tribe Called Quest.
Great.
Yeah.
pick.
Self-titled.
Okay.
Self-titled.
Yeah.
It's so good.
All right, Robbie, number one.
Probably Del the Funky Homo Sapien.
Dude,
I gotta say.
thing going.
This shit is
You
good.
stole my
All,
pick.
all from
You
Clint
stole
Eastwood,
my
man.
You
name.
guys need to exchange
All from
numbers
Clint
and
Eastwood.
all
Dude,
that
we need to
stuff.
exchange spit like right now.
Oh, absolutely. Let's do it right now.
All right, I got two.
Doc.
I got two. I'm gonna cheat here.
I'll give a shot to Tribe Called Quest, though.
Number one,
Yeah.
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, okay.
Eternal 1999.
Yeah,
that's one of my
That,
that's my
that album
shit.
is the shit.
That's my shit.
But
Agreed.
speaking of this tape Walkman I have
Yeah.
Look at that beautiful Sony piece
right here,
of craftsmanship.
it's wonderful. You get 8 hours out of a set of batteries.
8?
Yeah, it's
God
amazing.
damn.
And you can't recharge it. It's weird. There's no like
What the fuck
lightning
is this?
cable on
You
this.
hear the man, ladies and gentlemen.
So you
he
can't put
said
your
8
earbuds up to that?
Dude, I
hours.
remember. Okay, listen to this. I was like 14 years old, sitting in the waiting room of the dentist office with this exact Walkman. And I had the Bone album before East 1999 creeping on the come up.
Jeez.
Was it a filling?
Thuggish Ruggish Bone.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah, dude. And I was listening to that on my
Yeah.
headphones, but it was loud. And my dad was like, "What are you listening to?" And I got it from like a friend on the bus. And he put my headphones on.
Oh boy.
And
there you go.
Dude,
Dude,
it was a
that's
Hank
not
Hill
good.
moment. It was like, whoa,
What the hell?
this devil music.
you
So yeah, I would say
listening to?
Bone is number one because
Yeah.
they are thugs, but they're also in harmony.
Oh, that's what's cool about them because
Yeah.
they
that's
rap
true.
sing,
They could
dude.
sing,
They could
man.
sing.
They could sing. And then number two is, and maybe he has fallen from grace a little bit, but man, 90s Busta Rhymes.
Okay.
Oh shit,
All
yeah,
right.
man.
So wonderful.
yeah.
Erica and I, we were hanging out one night a few nights ago, and we had this MTV Classic channel on the satellite dish, and they have
Yo MTV raps.
It's exactly what it is. They play throwback videos. And dude, so we watched, it was like 90s Busta Rhymes. I'm talking Dangerous, Woo-Ha.
Yes.
I'm talking Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See. Give Me Some More.
Breaking it.
Like Break Your Neck.
Break Your
Yeah.
Neck.
Yeah. Rhymes
Break
and
Your
more.
Neck.
And then it went into like old Ludacris, like
Yes.
the first couple
Man.
albums.
Oh,
And I'm
man.
like, dude, what happened to hip hop that was funny?
All right,
Yeah.
you know
What happened to
man?
hip-hop that wasn't so
I'm
serious?
trying to bring
Sunny
that back.
girl.
You are, dude.
I am, dude. I'm not
my
playing.
world.
And I think part of that, a big part of that was being in the rap group I was in before this, was being funny. And we were both coming from the same, 90s kid vibe. But I still want to be funny. And that's a big part of what we do is like, I don't want it to be serious, man. Everything's so serious and it's all the same.
Right.
And I mean, I think especially with I Love New York, that was a huge thing for me was, dude, who's going to rap about shrooming and New York City, and a song that has no hook.
All right, let me ask you something.
You know what I mean? It's almost a 3-minute song, no hook.
No, it's just a story.
raps.
It's a story.
It's literally
man.
a story.
It's
But that's what's cool.
absolutely
Because it goes back to
wonderful.
that Dell 90s hip hop of like, here's like, okay, like when I first heard it, not stylistically, but storytelling wise, was Ice Cube's Good Day.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like,
Fuck yeah.
it's a day. This is the day in the life. This is what I'm fucking doing.
All right, so I have a question.
It's a story.
Did you really give the homeless guy
life.
$50? Or is that just like
Wait, in the video?
no, like in the lyrics.
In the song,
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's a song.
It's a
Well,
metaphor.
here's the
right?
thing.
Yeah, it's a
You're
metaphor.
crafting
All
a
he said
tale.
was
Can I-
50. He
I
didn't say
appreciate
50
you being
what.
honest, Ronnie.
You
I
know
appreciate
what?
that.
Give him a 50 hand job.
Let me say this.
50 cents?
Peace, man.
I'd been to New York twice.
50
I'd been to New York twice. I wrote the song. I love New York. If I could live in New York, dude, I wouldn't be here
posted
right
up
now.
in a filthy
Take that back.
house.
They posted up
If
in a
you could
filthy
afford
house.
to live in New York,
Yeah,
because it's fucking expensive.
Right.
One of the most expensive cities in the world.
I wrote the song.
Cocksuckers.
I knew I was going. I was like,
Bastards.
if I don't film a video for the song, I'm dumb. Like, I have to do this.
Right.
So I did, and my friend that lived there, she's like, no, we can get you shrooms if you want. And I was like, oh, dude, like,
So you're
I should
actually doing
shroom in
shrooms?
New York and totally do this. I went to New York, and like after like a day there, I was like, oh no, I remember New York's dirty. I don't want to shroom here.
Yeah.
Because when you shroom, everything is so. If you're in a bathroom and it's like kind of dirty, you're like, oh my god, it's like so.
It's the worst place
so
ever,
dirty.
yeah.
What's the lyric about
Yeah.
putting on the what is it
like
Widescreen?
the widescreen? Yeah, like the panoramic
My pupils
view.
went to widescreen.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ice
exactly.
cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I wanted
That's
ice cream.
Adele. That's
Yeah.
Adele. The
Like,
funky homosexual.
Yeah,
right
and
there,
that's
man.
the thing. Like, when I was writing that song, I wanted it to be like after I took the shrooms in the song, like
Got that
just
green tea,
like
man.
spur of the moment mind
Yeah.
thoughts.
Yeah.
Because
I say spore of the moment.
yeah, spore of the moment. Yeah.
Well, the line that I liked was the look, Mom, I ate all my
look,
vegetables.
yeah.
Like,
that's so
Finish song.
genius. All right, so dudes, we got to wrap it up.
yeah.
What can I bring a
Oh
couple
yeah,
more
please
things?
do, please do. Yeah,
All right.
I noticed you were
All right,
scrolling
do
down
this.
over there.
First, all right, 3 things. First of all, I want to say sound check. That's badass. You know us from there. I started that shit.
Did you really?
I was in the first class that ever did that with Mark.
Nice.
Mark's one of my good
Yeah,
friends.
Mark's a good dude.
All right.
Mark
The
is a
second
good
thing
dude.
from another podcast, you guys brought up Gatewood Ragers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
Where did you guys live on Gatewood?
I lived in 1812 Gatewood Avenue.
Bullshit. All right,
Yeah.
I lived on the corner of 18th and Gatewood. You lived there too.
What's
Wow.
funny is I lived there before Ronnie lived
I don't know.
there.
I don't know. Is that on the corner?
I don't know. I just hung out there and,
1812 was
did
a
things
2-story house.
Yeah.
18.
like all kinds of things.
Is it on the
Like-
corner?
Kinds.
Kind of, yeah.
We lived on a 2-story right on the corner of 18th and Gatewood.
Yeah, we
and
did.
on the top floor. And I said when we
Well,
moved
was
out,
it a house or a
a
duplex?
duplex.
It was
Ours
a
was the house. Ours was the only
Okay.
house on the street.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But it was a fucking sweet duplex.
Yeah.
If we can say
I
that.
said,
Yeah, we rigged
that
it
it
was
spot
hard.
is the shit.
all
What
right.
else
The
on your list?
only other thing I wanted to bring up, I wanted to give a shout out going back to Nick Hampson
Yeah.
from 89th Street. Man, he's put us on the best shows. The first time I ever talked to Nick, MC Chris is coming through.
Fuck yeah.
And I love MC Chris. And I said, hey, dude, I'm in
Speaking
a
of
rap
funny
group.
rappers.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
shit. I said, hey, man,
backpats.
can I get on the show? And he's like, well, I don't think we're gonna put on locals, but I'll get you back.
You got to put on a local.
And
Come on, just one.
I never heard from him in like 2 weeks. I was like, whatever, dude. The first time I'd ever even talked to him, I messaged him on Facebook.
That's dope.
Then he hits me up like maybe a week before the show. He's like, hey, dude, do you guys still want to play?
Fuck yeah.
Put us on the show.
Badass.
Maybe a week later, and he brought this up during his episode. He said one of the worst experiences he's ever had at 89th Street was a show with this rapper named Puya.
Yeah.
Okay, dude. We opened that show. He asked us, he said, hey, do you want to play the show? We said, yeah. Man, like 2 days before, he asked us like 2 or 3 days before it happened. It was already sold out. So we played a sold out show that we didn't have to do any work for. Literally, me and Tim were the only people at the bar that night. The rest of the crowd was high school kids.
Damn.
I would
Literally.
venture to say that not a single one of the people in that audience knew hip hop before Kanye West.
Literally.
Literally tough.
And that was the only crowd we got. We got booed.
What?
People were talking shit. And then I was like, I played the song. I was like, hey, if you guys have a blunt, spark it up. Just joking because there's little kids. And they start smoking in 89th Street.
I've never smoked there.
And
It's-
then in the place. And then they were
It smelled fresher than a
It
Whole
was
Foods
crazy.
guarantee.
And then they were talking shit and booing. I was like, isn't it past your fucking curfew?
Yeah. They'll turn it back
go
on.
to
Turn
sleep.
it back on.
It was
16-year-olds, you.
This is right after I officially joined the band, but before we had even started me, so I got to pass on this opportunity.
Dude, when he brought that shit up, it was so
you missed out.
funny.
Cool. Well, Ronnie, Tim, Robbie.
Yes.
Robbie.
Yeah, you
Thank
guys
you
got like
guys
this new
so
look
much for
here.
coming on.
Yes,
man.
thank you.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you
again,
for
it's
having us.
facebook.com/Trash TV OKC.
Trash TV OKC, Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, Twitter, Instagram.
If you haven't liked us yet, you're a sinner, and there's 17 Hail Trash TVs.
I'd say look out this summer for our first full length LP.
You better
It's coming
fucking believe
very,
it.
very
Do
soon.
you guys have any shows coming up or anything?
We're kind of taking hiatus. We're playing a wedding coming up. That's our only show coming up.
Sweet.
Trash TV is playing a fucking
Dun,
wedding.
The most lit wedding in history.
You should. That should be filmed and put on your YouTube page.
Right?
Everyone can go
Yeah,
see.
no shit.
Absolutely.
But
Probably
first
so.
full length LP coming out. I'm guessing this summer. We don't have a release date yet, but I hope you guys
pilot.
invite us back to play some shit.
Yeah, man.
Fuck
and
yeah.
talk
Yes.
more
This
music.
was
once
a lot of
more.
fun.
Dude, send us some shit. We'll
Yeah,
play
yeah.
it on the show,
We will, we will, we
regardless,
will.
man.
Right,
You want the whole goddamn thing?
We
got
love
it.
boys. Hey, what's episode 41?
Episode 41. Who's 41?
Cameron Buckles.
Oh yeah, Cameron from the Cat. He's a DJ
Cool,
on the
cool,
Cat.
cool.
So yeah,
Cool.
it's
Cameron's
great.
cool.
Giggity.
All right.
Cool.
And
Love you
we're,
guys.
we're taking it out with "I Love New York,"
Yes.
an oldie but a goodie. My favorite song that I've heard so far. And thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Seriously.
Thanks, guys.
You.
Bye.
Thank you, boys.
Posted up in a filthy hostel outside of Queens. Amy told me to get lost, yo, girl, this is what you mean. The mean streets are coming. I'm kinda hot, I think the streets is just heat. Coming off the concrete, then the sellers street me. Staring at me, but I'm lost up in my head as I'm waiting for a taxi. I'm in the cab, he asked her where. Said I don't care, here's a 20, just take me there. We drive me out to Brooklyn, Burrow keeps it cooking. Saw my car, Steffi and a lady both good looking. They were looking out for me though too. When I said fuck maps, they both laughed and handed me a pack of gold cash. Yeah, this a trip that I've been looking for. Gave up all the hug, they said good luck, that's when I hit the door. I knew I was in for more. Took the train to the Hudson Shore, that's where I ate the spores. Yo, NYC, a boy licked the back clean, I even ate the debris. Finished all my veggies, mama, aren't you proud of me? Pupils started popping, then my vision went to wide. I wanted ice cream, so I hit the pink berry. Got that green tea, topped it with the mochi. Yo, that shit was so delicious. Asked the girl if it's nutritious, and she said no. Oh, couldn't stop laughing as I made my way to the subway, took the E train to the East Bay. Some dude stopped me and wanted change. I threw a 50 in his hand and said, spread the love and peace, man. Cause it's all about the people here. Biggie Small said it best is living life without fear. That's false evidence appearing real. I would hate to be the dude who has to fight for his next meal. But the city keeps the blood pumping, engine running, bass thumping, crowd humming always. From Brooklyn to the Bronx to Queens, out to Staten all the way to Manhattan up to Broadway. It's been an odd day. I've never tripped out, got lost and wandered around. But as soon as I pop my head out the rabbit hole, I discovered that I walked myself all the way to Midtown. All these Times Square lights were all shining bright. Couldn't even think of when the day turned to night. Oh, what a sight to my dilated eyes. They said the city don't sleep high, that ain't no lie. Talking home of the MoMA, Hova, Wise Guys, Empire, World Trade, Statue of Liberty, Central Park, Rockefeller, Chrysler, High Line. I love New York, baby, keep that shit tight, alright? I love New York, baby, keep that shit tight, alright? I love New York, baby, keep that shit tight. Keep that shit tight, yo, keep that shit tight. Keep that shit tight, baby, keep that shit tight. Yo, New York, keep that shit tight. And I'll be on the next flight, alright?